Wow, guys, go out and see Arcane now. Let this serve. It's a second time I'm telling you to go fucking watch the show.
Yes.
Because I'm just going to come right out and say it. Arcane is a 10 out of 10. It's a fucking 10 out of 10 show. The conclusion, I watched the last 6 episodes. Hopefully you guys watched the last 6 episodes. And we are ready for a full-ass review. Well, here's my review. It's a 10 out of fucking 10. It's one of the best video game adaptations ever. Short and sweet. There you go. Go fucking watch it. It's amazing. Well done job all around. And we'll just sort of dive into the individual episodes. But before we do that, what did you guys think?
Loved it.
Last 6 episodes.
Last 6 episodes.
I was worried it couldn't be as good as the first 3.
Me too, but
they were better.
better. I was like, this is amazing. I fucking love this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I liked it all the way through. But
Not loved.
huh?
But there's no buts here,
Like,
Alex.
there's a but.
Get your butt out of
No,
here.
I mean, I
know.
But I knew from the beginning that the people who are in charge of this side of Riot are super talented. I didn't doubt that it was going to be amazing all the way through after the first ones. So, like, I really liked it all the way through. I mean, there are people that have some gripes about the show, but it's also a 10-episode season. There's going to be shortened things.
Yeah.
People
I
don't
don't know
like.
a single person with a gripe on this show.
Oh, you've been on the internet then.
No.
Like,
I stay away.
People have issues with like characters falling in love in a short period of time. So it's like that is every movie and TV show literally ever since the beginning of time. They've always shortened. It's like they don't have 3 weeks in a TV show to fall in love.
I actually thought that worked. The love story between Jace and Mel. Anyways, I even showed my girlfriend this series. And I started her at like episode 4 or 5 because I needed to finish watching them. And she's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "This is a really good show. I don't have time to go and start from episode 1 through 3 if we're going to get the review done. But I guarantee you it's amazing. Just watch it and see if you like it on this episode." She was gripped. She could even tell the excellent writing. The difference in writing between the Cowboy Bebop live action and this is huge. If you want to know what good writing is about, good situations, flawless action, just freaking awesome. So yeah, this is a success, and I want to say it is probably the best among top 10 easy, top 5 easy video game adaptations. Now, granted, it's crazy because it's not as if Riot gave them a ton of material to work with. It's very, very excellent when you consider that it's a video game that really didn't give much to work from other than a backstory blurb for everyone and key art for everyone, right? So it's and they'll do some stories once in a while, but it's fucking amazing to actually see this world come alive in such a cohesive and fascinating way, and just like buildings and gadgets and the way of life. All of it is fascinating. And then you have a really good central story. You have really good subplots. And they pay these characters their respect and make them and flesh them out. And I hope that they can do that for even more characters in the future, because it's been recently announced that Season 2 is good to go. Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it. Unfortunately, we got to wait.
A couple more years.
Yeah, probably 2023 at the
Hopefully they
earliest
start
is what I'm
working on
thinking.
2 and 3 simultaneously based on like the positive reception here. Look, like their lore isn't as shallow as maybe you described it, because I think they've done a tremendous amount of world building in the last, almost 10 years on the individual worlds. Like, we know what Piltover is like. We know, Zon and Demacia and Ionia and Noxus. We know what all these things do and kind of how they interact. And then the characters are just characters within them.
Yes, but what have we seen? I'm talking about their designs and visuals and actually getting it to work.
Yeah, you see a lot of them and how they like. There's little intro videos and things. I mean, it's not
Who made the intro videos?
It's not the same studio, right? But Riot has its own little kind of dedicated department that does those things.
Okay.
One thing that they really did super well here is there are side characters that are not video game characters that I think carried the show. Like Silco is such an amazing character, and he's
Don't forget there are new characters in here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so there's some of the most amazing characters in this show aren't characters in the game, and there's just really well written, believable characters that I love.
Silco, man. I thought I was gonna hate this villain. It turns out I love this villain.
He's a great villain.
He's a great villain, and they have other new characters. Mel, sort of fascinating, and then the other one is Sevica, something. The Silco's bodyguard. You know who I'm talking about, right? Okay, she's freaking awesome as well. I wonder if any of these are actually going to become League of Legends champions. Well, probably not, because we know what we know. Some of them, not others. Okay, so here we go. Anyways, let's go into individual episode ratings. Episode 4 is, kind of focuses a little bit on Caitlyn. Her backstory, kind of a Caitlyn-centered episode. Jace sort of maneuvering with his newfound position of, being able to work on this Hex Tech. And they're doing great, and they actually have refined Hex Tech into a stable state. And he wants to reveal it to everybody. And Mel is really pushing him to do that. And, she has her own motivations. She was the one that kind of, allowed these things to happen. And, he actually decides not to do it because his whole thing is he wants to protect the, what do you call it? Protect the city. What else happens in episode 4, if you guys can remember while I grab it?
That
it's been
is
2
going to
weeks.
be a Happy Progress Day. There's a big parade and everything. So I remember that.
Yeah.
And Jinx. That's another thing I was going to ask you, too. Jinx and Vi. Because you said in the first time, I'm not sure if I'm going to believe
Happy Progress
it.
Day. You're right here. Okay, what?
Because first you were like, I don't know if I'm going to believe this.
Right,
he
the
hates
rift between these two. It fucking works.
It
they
did.
paid it off.
Yes.
And they did that in Act 2. They even pressed it even harder in Act 3, and it pays off. And that's why I gave it a 10 out of 10 up front. Anyways, so as you said, Happy Progress Day. Jinx, we see her causing fucking havoc, and we see, them more as adults. There's an undergang known as the Firelights. And Jinx is trying to impress Silco by stealing the Hex Tech gemstones. And we get a cool little hoverboard fight where they fight each other and shit. And it ends up that Violet is captured and, thrown in jail. And then Caitlyn has this kind of friendship with Jace as childhood friends, and she eventually goes to Stillwater to speak with one of these prisoners, and one of them happens to be Violet, because she's trying to figure out what's going on in the underworld, and so there's that. And then finally, the big reveal at the end is with all these maneuverings that Jace is getting help from Mel, Jace is given a seat on the council, and this is going to push the plot forward. So I thought that this one was an excellent episode. Not as good as the others, but I gave it an 8 out of 10. What did you guys say for episode 4?
This one I would probably give it 9.
Okay.
I really liked it, especially towards the end. Jinx's character just really stood out.
I have no idea. I don't remember. It's been too long. I would not give a single episode in this series less than an 8. So this one is definitely a little bit more slow. They're kind of building up into something, and so it probably didn't have as many individual outstanding moments. So I could see.
Okay.
I think 8 or 9.
I like her traps.
Hey,
They're so cool.
Episode 5 is Everybody Wants to Be My Enemy, and this is the second episode in Act 2. Due to, Violet's experience, and I know her name now. I thought it was V, but it's Vi because it's short for Violet. Due to her experience with Zon, she's able to sort of, guide Caitlyn down to this fucking underworld, and they become kind of fast friends. Meanwhile, Jace is doing his politics things, and this is where we get the start of a relationship between him and Mel. And I thought it was fine. Didn't shock me. Didn't seem like it would come from left.
The sex scene was so out of left. For me, it was just why is this here? All right.
The,
Cool.
the series has already been adult, so throwing in some of that kind of stuff was fine for me. It was done better than Eternal's sex scene, I'll tell you that much. But this episode really held up by a fantastic fight scene between Violet and the bodyguard lady, and it was just awesome. This animation style, you wouldn't think lends itself well to some of the best animated fights I've seen, like you would see in animes, but they just fucking go at it. It's visceral. and it's just fantastic. So that really held it up. And then Jinx, here's I was a little thrown off by this because meanwhile Jinx gets a hold of one of the gems and then she just kind of makes her own fucking device. I'm like, wait a minute, Jinx goes from a shitty fucking builder to doing what two fucking
years.
scientists do in like years,
so
and she can fucking make it. That was the only small little thing, but again, these are small gripes in the greater whole where it's just like, well, what about that? But when you're getting
I'm willing to hand wave that because whenever she was little, she actually did do that.
Did do
with
what?
The bomb, and it
she
worked.
Just stuck a fucking gem and two fucking tambourines hit it because it's volatile. That's not.
So now she knows how to kind of manipulate with it.
That's different. Jinx is refusing to work on the new EdgeTech gemstones out of fear of, her flashbacks of her family. So you're definitely seeing a struggle of Jinx, between the two. And then she's got even caricatures, little dolls of fucking Milo, and it's crazy. I believe it. I'm into it. And then Silco just takes her to be reborn in the lakes of Zon because he was explaining how he was telling the story of him and Vander, but she didn't know that. And he's like, you got to kill the past, so you got to kill Powder and accept your identity as Jinx. And then Piltover Jace finally decides to partner with the other counselors because he sees, there's corruption there, and Jace wants to sort of, root out the corruption, and so he needs to kind of exert his power with help from his now romantic partner, Mel. Actually, no, Victor's kind of
sidelined
a bit because he's showing weakness. There's some kind of illness that he's undergoing. He's also protesting, like we cannot make weapons later on and stuff like that. So they're coming a little bit disagreements here and there. But I thought that was an excellent ass episode because of the fight and the scenes with Silco. So for this particular one, episode 5, Everybody Wants to Be My Enemy, I went with a 9 out of 10. What would you do?
Same for me. I actually did like the music a little bit better on this one. I love the visuals. I just love the way they use the neon colors. It is so colorful, wonderful to look at. But those fight scenes just really stood out.
Yeah, I think 9 or 10 easily for this one. I love it's satisfying punching things with Vi in the game, and it's satisfying watching.
Never played Vi.
It's so. I mean, the more she punches things, the more she does damage and breaks the armor down, and it's great. And it was great.
So then we move on to episode 6. Each one of these episodes kind of dives in at the beginning into a character's backstory. When these walls come tumbling down, the last episode in the second act shows a little bit of Victor's backstory. Surprise, surprise, Singed happens to be his mentor. When he was a little boy, he was playing with, little trinkets that he was making, kind of rolls into somebody's cave, and it turns out Singed is there. He's got this mutation he's trying to keep alive, and they kind of work together on things. And so Victor learns what he knows, some of what he knows from Singed. And then at this point, because Vi and that bodyguard lady just came to huge blows, and they got both fucked up, Caitlin is trying to escort Vi back to get healed, to get help, during this, Jinx is, kind of conflicting with herself. She sees Silco's plans, she sees what's going on with Vi, sees Vi and Caitlin, kind of gets jealous, she's trying to replace me, but she's still kind of good. She lights the thing that her sister gave her a long time ago. I actually forgot about it. I didn't know it would come back into play. And I'm like, oh, man, she ain't gonna see that flare, and then she's going to get mad again, right? And I was like, they're going to do this stupid thing. And they kind of do it a little bit, but then Violet comes. I'm like, thank you, Violet, please. Jeez, even though she fucked up, she came. God damn it. But then this leads to the Vi and Jinx reunite, but she sees Caitlin coming. And so it kind of ruins the it seems as if they're not fucking mad at each other anymore. And so I thought, okay, they're not doing that stupid bullshit. But then she sees that you're with the enemy, and are you even here for me, or are you here for the stupid gem? And so it gets confused again. And And just then, the fucking owl guys come back. They're fucking riding on their
fireflies.
Yeah.
Which one is it, Alex?
Firelights.
Firelights. And so then they have another great fight scene, and then Jinx is using her Gatling gun, and they have just the cinematography and an animation. It's just and all the colors and the situations and the speed, and it's just great. So they have a fight together against the owl dude, and. Let's see. The reunion is short-lived because they got the Fireflies, and they end up stealing the Gemstone and kidnapping both Caitlyn and Vi. So that's how that one kind of ends. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Am I supposed to know him? Is this owl character riding a hoverboard in League of Legends? I didn't know. So I was just, okay, maybe it'll tell me eventually. But it ends on a cliffhanger there, and I was like, another really, really good episode exploring characters' backstories, fleshing them out, giving us good action, giving us a reason that Caitlyn and Vi start to become fast friends, and even more. I think they imply that Caitlyn and Violet are in a relation, are starting the beginnings of a relationship.
Do you like me, sir?
Yeah,
Yes or no?
yes, exactly. And
Yes,
I totally
yes.
buy it. It doesn't fucking feel forced. It doesn't feel.
I was about to say
it
that.
feels
It's not
fucking
forced.
earned. And then she keeps calling her cupcake. I like
It's like,
that.
why? Stop calling me. He's like, 'cause you're sweet.
Yeah, because you're sweet. It's great. So I gave this one a 9 out of 10. What would you give?
I would give this one a 10. I really like the writing, and I really like the emotion between Jinx and Vi, and just everything about that, and just. It was a great cliffhanger to end on. I was like, oh, man, I can't wait to see the other one. And again, the final fight. Another spectacular battle.
Which one was the fight? Was just the Firelights fight?
The
Firelights
Firelights
at
and
the
just going
top
crazy,
and-
and then
yeah.
they slash Jinx's
Yeah.
leg.
I'm gonna go
No, that's-
9 out of 10 as well.
Is that the end?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I really like this episode. I mean, the second act was super strong all the way through. So
Yeah. Now, here's where it kicks into high gear. This was where you could have fallen on your face, right? But when I'm looking at my ratings,
This is good all the way across.
they're all 10 out of 10. I'm just going to fucking ruin it. I didn't think they could do it, but they fucking did it. So anyways, I just hate ruining things, but I just did it. Okay, so episode 7, which is the first episode in Act 3, is called The Boy Savior. So this is where we reveal that the owl dude is actually Echo, and he's a new ally. And I was like, oh, that's so fucking cool. You thought you had the deal, but now they ally, and it's like, okay, cool. And then he's got this own little beautiful, just amazing visuals of the tree, and he's rescuing people, and you got the little fucking fireflies and shit. It's awesome. And then Jinx is upset towards Silco, and she's so dangerous. You can feel that she's unpredictable. She's like a
It's like
Harley
you lied
Quinn
to me.
kind of.
You
Yeah.
said she wasn't looking for me. She said she was.
Yeah, and she's like fucking about to kill him because she administers like shimmer to keep him alive or something, but then finally he kind of convinces her that Vi was there for the crystal, not for her, and she's still unsure, but she's gonna buy it for now. And then Jace is sort of being manipulated. You're like, who is this lady, and what are her true motivations? And it makes it interesting because she seems like he's being manipulated by Mel to make weapons, with hex tech. And Victor's protesting against this. She's putting these ideas in his head. Victor's like, no, we agree that this would not be weaponized. But she's got like investors. She knows she can make money. She knows that that's where the power, and her thing is to just get power. And so he's got that. Now, unfortunately, Victor is getting real sick now, and you could tell he's pouring himself into work. You got a little girlfriend, Sky, who's like, oh, I can't wait to Victor this, Victor that, wants to tell him, but then Victor's like, I'm busy. And she's like, God damn it. But he starts to mix hex tech with his body and his blood, and he notices that when you have this reaction, he's like, okay, this technology is hex core now, and I'm gonna do this. And then again, the Fireflies are, that's where you have the bridge scene, and this was fucking amazing. and this like betrayal happens because this character Piltover General has basically been working for Silco this whole time. There's another subplot where he puts his daughter in danger, even visits his daughter, just sinister shit. Silco is so fucking good. And then so he's got this guy right where he wants him. Caitlyn convinces Vi that we need to give the gemstone to the Piltover. And it fucking blows up in her face. She even convinces motherfucking Echo to do it, right? And Echo's like, I don't know.
Well, Echo said, I'm going to be the one.
Like, I want to be the, because it makes sure nothing fucking goes wrong. And boom, he gets fucking shot. The fucking guy's betrayed. Just shit goes down and it goes crazy. And and then Jinx is there. And then all of a sudden, all these fireflies show up. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then bah, 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 they just start, and then they have this long shot of all these fireflies going off.
Yeah, because I thought they were
bridge.
the regular ones. Because whenever they're walking through that little like sewer or whatever, you see all. It's like, oh, I've never seen this many.
I've never seen this many.
And then you see it again. I was like, okay, that's weird. But then like it zooms in. I was like, holy shit, that's a machine. Bam, explosion.
Kaboom.
And the little wings reveal a Jinx logo, and they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But it's already too late, and then everybody's knocked the fuck out. Like, the dude is dying and dead. Or, you know, Silco obviously is doing his little thing. But it's fucking great. And then we have a very cool battle between Echo and Jinx. And I love the way they do this because this was hyper stylized. Now, you can fuck this up very, very easy when you do this because it takes a completely different animation style as they start charging into each other. And they flash back and forth between them as kids because they're like still young at heart and Jinx is fucking crazy. They're almost playing like a little fucking water gun game, but this shit is real. Like, you can fucking kill each other, but it's just so well done. 10 out of motherfucking 10. And giving further context to the conflict between how, you know, Jinx feels isolated from her sister Violet and betrayed and all these other things. It's just coming together really, really well. What would you give it?
I would give this another 10 as well. Mm-hmm. This one was an amazing scene. I really like the chemistry between Caitlyn and Vi. Mm-hmm. And I could see their arc kind of going, and it's written well. Yeah. Again, not in your face, kind of subtle, but still there.
Yeah.
And just Silo. Mm-hmm. That's the name.
Silco?
Silco. Yeah. Silco. It's just, he's so likable as a villain, though. I was like, man, I want to see more of this guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a fucking point. This is on his kind of oppressed and ignored by these goddamn rich assholes that are doing nothing. Anyway.
Yeah, I think the strength of the writing here is that not a lot of the characters are doing things that you just kind of sit back and go, why? Like everything is to a purpose here. Even when Echo's ready to kill Jinx, but he's not ready to kill Powder, right? Mm-hmm. And they're the same person. So when he's about to kill Jinx, he kind of stops, and because you can tell they did, they played the camera a little bit to make her look like she did as a kid, and they were friends as kids. Yeah, and then she blows his ass to hell.
Unwilling to deliver that. Oh, that was such a good one too. What? Allows a grenade to detonate, and it's like it obviously wounds them both. They're both fucked up, and we don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. So then we go on to episode 8, Oil and Water. Oil and Water, 8 is really fucking good too. This is Mel's sort of backstory, how her mother's ruthless and she's been taught to be ruthless her whole life kind of thing. What is that? Noxian or
yeah, they're Noxians.
Noxians, and they're just a different culture. And then we see Silco actually saves Jinx, not Vi. He picks her up. Yet more reasons saves Jinx. Yeah. So he says yet more reason for Jinx to feel attached to Silco. And as we go along, we get this idea that maybe Silco is actually does care for you. Even his own henchmen are starting to question his motives. Where the fuck is Jinx? Why she didn't listen to you? You're weak. You're showing signs of it. So there's this kind of things building with Silco's henchmen that maybe his power base is under threat. Anyways, smart writing. Let me just kind of give you an idea of the smart writing. So this guy. Who is an underground boss himself, kind of just a lower boss, propositions Savika. I'm sure I'm getting her name wrong, but I think it was Savika, the bodyguard lady. And he's explaining to her how Silco is being weak, and he makes some good points, and then he offers her a lighter, right? to light, and she lights her cigarette. And while he's giving her this proposition, she moves her cigarette to the side and lets him light her cigarette as kind of a symbolic begrudgingly agreeing, right? Without fucking writing, without fucking saying it. And then you watch them like Cowboy Bebop and they're like, you know,
I don't know
the
yet.
stupidest fucking lines I've ever heard. And it's just extremely, when it's just so forgettable, and then when it's not forgettable, it's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And
it has
a little sneak peek into
a sneak peek into my
Cowboy
fucking
Bebop,
Cowboy Bebop review. Sorry, but I was watching these two series at the same time, and it really fucking jarred me, because it shows you there's ways that you can write something where it's like I'm going to war with a syndicate, but what if we lose? But there's a way to put that line in a different way that's just so much fucking more stylistic. The anime. Anyway, sorry. I got derailed because I wanted to use a fucking line, but it's so forgettable I fucking forgot it already to try to compare the two. Yeah. Anyway, so smart writing is what I'm saying. And then I'm really noticing just this series has really fucking, and my girlfriend pointed out, because she loves content with strong female characters. And this has really strong female characters that focuses on it. So I'm sure that, this is a wide appeal, because you got males that are badass, you got females that are badass. It's just well-written characters. And some, it just so happens to be a ton of them are female, and they're strong. Singed has some kind of plan coming into focus, because he, Silco and Jinx, he actually injects Silco where he's not paying attention, and he's fucking injecting Jinx with Shimmer. In his way, he's saving her. So now we're gonna get a Jinx that's even fucking crazier, right? Because she's got Shimmer coursing through her veins, because she was mortally injured too. I mean, they're both injured, Echo and her, from their fight. And then Heimerdinger sort of, I forgot to say, in the previous episode, fucking Jace outmaneuvers Heimerdinger because he's starting to, wants to get power, and then he actually convinces the council to fucking get rid of Heimerdinger on the goddamn council. And you can see it in Heimerdinger's eyes, just the sadness and the betrayal of his former student and betraying the mentor. And then in this episode, you get a little bit of the fallout. Heimerdinger kind of exiles himself to the underworld and kind of sees what's going on. And he realizes, man, we've been fucking up down here, because these people are like, even me, struggling. It's his fucking hubris and shit. Anyway, so then, and he actually runs into Echo, because it looks like he was going to exile himself, just get on a boat and fucking leave the world. But then
there's other places to go.
Yeah, he offers to help Echo, and they kind of talk about the technology, and it's a feel good, man. It's a little feel good between Heimerdinger and Echo. And then we've got, Mel's mother storyline coming in here. But as soon as I thought Mel was going to go evil in episode 8 and 9, just kind of like pulling the final strings on Jace. It's not really. It's almost Mel's mother. And Mel kind of turns and says, no, I don't want war. Because Jace is almost kind of marching towards war, being pushed by his mother to kind of defend the land. And she's like, no, I don't want war. Yet Jace is considering it. And then that's when you get the whole top side and bottom. Oil and water. This relationship between Vi and Caitlyn comes to a head where it's like, you're oil, I'm water. We don't mix, and it's sad and stuff.
Yeah, they go to the council on this one, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we need to help them out. It's like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, after, going to her mother's on the council, gets her audience, and they think they make a good case, and fucking council's, nah. And the kid's like,
good. They can take care of themselves.
Violet's like, I'm so fucking stupid thinking that would work, talking to these people, and Caitlyn was disappointed too, so they kind of have a falling out.
We need another plan. We can do this.
Victor succeeds. Skye actually, as he's trying to say, interact with the object, she goes in there, she sees him fucking touching and fucking going crazy. So she tries to save him, but some shit goes down and she fucking merges with it or something. She becomes a bloody mess.
She turns to dust on the floor.
Was it dust on the floor?
Yeah.
She went into the fucking cube.
Well, yeah, it looked like that, but then at the end you see her clothes, and then there's just a giant pile of her dust.
Oh, shit, I missed that. Yeah, because I was like,
there's another emotional scene. He's like, no. Then he's reading letters. He's like, oh.
Yeah, it's fucking good,
it's
man.
Good.
It tugs at you. So then Vi meets up with Jace, and then she puts on his glove, and this is what we see from the video game. That's her actual weapon from the video game.
Death.
And then offers a plan to take down Silco, and he's like, okay, this is my shortcut. I can get in here. I don't have to do a war. Let's go get the fucking guy. So then they go down there. I dislike the song. Like, I have number one, I don't like Imagine Dragons. I think he's fucking stupid. I hate the songs.
Thunder?
No,
Thunder?
This song that plays when
Enemy. Is it the beginning?
Well, that's different. I'm just saying I don't like Imagine Dragons. But there's a song that plays when Violet and Jace fight the Shimmer Soldiers. It just feels out of place to me. It's not my style. Some people are like, yeah, this is my jam. I'm just saying, personally, I didn't like the some of the songs when they do that. I'm like, ugh. I hate it when they do this. But the action is so damn good.
Yep.
It's colorful. It's creative. It's impressive. Just everything. Jace kills a small boy, though, while he's in there on accident. And he kind of realizes...
Not just any small boy.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
We see that in the next episode. But he realizes most of them are children. And then we get a scene of Caitlyn in the shower. Oh, well, no, because Jinx is stalking her and has a little symbol on the window. And then it smashes to black when she realizes, oh, fuck, Jinx is here.
You dead.
And so, another really, really good episode. 10 out of 10 from me.
10.
We're in agreement.
Great writing. Very emotional. Everything is, like, flowing. There's nothing like stupid parts, like Alex was saying.
And even the 100 and then 1, even the one nitpick doesn't fucking matter, which is for me the fucking song during the action.
And you can see also Jace's art
too,
too, because he's like, all right, we're gonna go to war. Then he sees it. It's like, oh my god, there's nothing but kids here.
Right.
They're like,
and he doesn't
look
want
like
to
they're
do it
being
anymore.
forced. He's like, no, I've seen like what it would look like. I don't want to do that. So.
And he picks up his hammer. That's from the video game too, Joe. It's
it's a hammer and cannon.
He's hard to fucking play. That's the guy win rate I was telling you about.
Yeah, it goes like, it's like, oh, cool, Jason.
It's hard to
sucks.
Yeah. So then we go to the final episode, episode 9. Violet and Jace sort of disband. They're arguing, and she's like, he's like, give me back the gloves. And she's like, well, fucking come get them. Because these are mine now. I got to go fucking take Silco. You're not taking them. And then he gets ready to fight, but then he's like, fuck it.
She's going to beat my ass to
fucking
death.
Tired. And then that's when the enemies take a shot at Silco. They fucking burst into his office. He's like, I'm fucking busy right now.
The second attempt.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we forgot about the first one.
We did. Yeah, but this one is even cooler because it looks like his bodyguard goes behind him, and he's like, oh, fuck, like, I'm fucked now. I'm like, oh, shit, this is how Silco's going to go. I'm like, oh, no. But he starts talking about, it's like, you fucking young whippersnappers know nothing. Yeah, sure, this and that, but, loyalty. Loyalty is what kept us together. Just then, his bodyguard looks like she slashes at Silco, but she actually slashes the motherfucking loser guy. She's like, this... He's like, were you tempted? And she was like, not by that fucking loser. So she was in on it the whole time. And she was going to get rid of one of his attempted assassins.
Finn.
Yeah.
He got complacent.
And it actually cuts the lady's face. And she was the mother of one of the kids that die. And then, of course, that comes to a head where she wants Silco to get out of there out of power. But no, she gets fucked and she runs away. Heimerdinger is taken to Echo's safe haven, and it's cool. A little friendship between those two. They're going to start working on, for the future. And then here, I loved this scene. Silco goes to Vander's statue, and he's like fucking talking to him, pouring one out. He's like, daughters, huh? And at this point, I think, Silco actually does love Jinx, and it's his daughter. Yeah. Initially, the series, you thought, oh, he's just going to fucking manipulate, he's going to use her. Well, somewhere, he probably did, right?
But
like, somewhere along the line, he's truly treats her as his daughter. And, he's kind of explaining to the statue because they offered him peace. Jace is like, I can't do this war. Here's what we're going to do. I'll give you autonomy. You can have your whole nation, but you give me Jinx. And he's like, oh, right. And so he's telling this Vander statue, is like, I gotta give her up. They want Jinx. He pours one out. Turns out Jinx is on the other side fucking listening. And she gets fucking pissed off. But she didn't let him know, but she gets pissed off. So then we got Violet And then Violet goes, so they're at the bar. I'm like, oh, yes. Violet, boom, walks in the bar. Turns on, the guy turns on some music right before she comes in. And we have this fucking, she finishes things with Savika. And it's just Shimmer versus Hex Tech because she's upgraded her arm. And motherfucking, Violet has some Jace Tech now. And then, boom, they go at it.
Another great display
Another
of the neon.
great fight, yeah. And so Savika actually wins, kind of gets, Vi down, but she gets encouragement from a memory of Vander because she's in the fucking bar that he ran.
She got knocked out so hard. She saw Vander.
She's
like, get
she
up.
Saw ghosts.
Get up.
Yeah. And then that has her beat Savika finally. And it's a hard-fought battle, so she's tired. But just as that, she's like, hey, well done, sister. And Jinx, boom, knocks out her sister right away. And then, meanwhile, Jace is going to the council with Zaun's independence. They've already made the deal. And they're like, what the fuck? No, this is ridiculous.
Doesn't he step down too, right? He steps down?
Who steps down?
Jace? He's like, I'm not fit.
No.
He does say he's not fit.
I
He
don't
doesn't
think
deserve
he
to be.
steps down.
I mean, I think he's just trying to soften the argument or whatever.
Oh, okay.
In any case, I guess they protest, but it's already been done, so they can't. So they're just like, hell no, we're not going to do this. It's left kind of unresolved, but you have that thing. But they're probably going to grant Zaun's independence. Now, Jinx takes, and then we get this great scene. Jinx is at a dinner. She's trying to make a decision. She's got all the seats filled with her fucking mannequins, dead friends and shit. And she's like, I got a seat here and I got a seat here. Here's Powder's seat and here's Jinx's seat. Where do you want me to sit? And she's got Violet all tied up. And she's like, here's what you need to do. And she brings out Caitlyn and she's like, kill fucking Caitlyn. And
No,
you
not
can
yet. It was like,
No?
remember
What
the
did I
platter.
miss?
There was a big.
Oh, yeah, that was super
That
fun.
was big.
That
I was
was
like,
super
oh,
fun.
shit, she fucking did
She
it.
brings it. I thought, oh, fuck, Caitlyn's head's going to be in here.
Yeah.
And Violet's like this.
No,
And
she's
you
in the
guys-
video
she's
game.
like, I'm not that fucking crazy. And then
Yeah.
she's in the
Well,
video
I
game. So I
wouldn't
knew
know.
she.
Yeah. I don't
you wouldn't
know.
My girlfriend didn't know either. It was
But it
pretty-
was fucking
I should have
awesome.
mentioned that. You're right. It was
Yeah.
fucking awesome. But then she's like, I'm not that crazy. And then, but she is crazy because she's like, fucking shoot her in front of me.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you and
We'll
she's
be
your little
sisters
girlfriend.
again.
That's not going to work, Jinx, you dumbass. Anyway, so all her craziness basically comes to a head, and she gets, Caitlyn gets free, and it causes a rustle, causes a fight where she uses her Gatling machine gun. And a fucking chair gets shot up. You don't see who is in the chair initially. You're like, is it Vi? Is it Caitlyn? What's going on? And the chair turns around. It's fucking Silco. She fucking shot Silco with the fucking Gatling gun. And then, so Silco's like fucking dying. And then he, with his dying breath, he's telling Jinx, like, I wouldn't have given you up. And I fucking believe him.
Yeah.
It's sad. And then again, you have this thing where it's like, Jinx is responsible for killing another one of her father figures, further pushing her into her madness. Oh, by the way, she's fucking Shimmer power. That's how she's able to fucking overpower Caitlyn too, and move too fast for a sniper to even fucking get her. And then this was a good song. Because, almost every single the song that plays, there's, 9 episodes, and let's just say there's 6 songs. I like one of them, and then this one. Right, and it's a good song. I am the monster you created is kind of how the line goes, and it's like, and then Jinx is all fucking crazy, and she uses the hex tech to create the weapon that Piltover was so scared of, and then and it's actually one of her weapons from the game.
Super Mega Death Rocket or whatever
She
it's fucking
fucking
called.
fires
It's
it
ultimate,
towards the fucking council headquarters.
It's a good shot.
And she's,
I don't know where she was shooting. I thought
yeah,
she was shooting
I thought
at
she was shooting the
planet.
moon or
Me
Mars.
too.
I'm like, what the?
I was like, where's it
Okay,
going?
from the perspective,
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah, that
fast.
shot was
I was
silly.
like, Jesus
And then
Christ, it's powerful.
So it slams into the window where all the council is sitting, and you're like, they're all fucking dead. But if you notice real quickly, Mel has some kind of effect that happens. Maybe she has powers herself. So all of her armor starts to glow gold. And Jace is noticing it too. So what I suspect is happening there is that Mel has some kind of power. She'll be able to save Jace because Jace is in the fucking game, so he doesn't fucking die there. She can either save Jace or maybe shield the entire council. And obviously, we go from Zaun independence and 15 seconds later, Zaun declaration of war against Zaun from Piltover. Because obviously you fucking fire the weapon at Zaun, and now we're going to war. And then it ends!
Yep.
fuck! Because now I gotta wait too fucking. I want more, and that's how you know it's a good series, because you want more. Yeah. But there are resolutions to the goddamn story at hand, sort of, except for the overall greater whole of Piltover and Zahn. So, 10 out of 10 for this last episode.
Again, yes, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Great cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, everything about this episode was amazing. Jinx's performance. Freaked me out.
Yep.
I was like, oh, she's fucking crazy.
She cut that girl's head off.
Yeah, I don't know if she was in the game. I was like, oh, did she really do it?
I love her.
No, just little cupcake.
I'm over here thinking, this is going to be a rip-off of Harley Quinn, but she really just actually earns her own. I like her character. Alex?
Yeah, I definitely give it a 10. And that's not just the only cliffhanger. They plant so many little seeds that just have me interested for the next season. They talk about, so Mel's mom says, your brother pissed off a man she shouldn't have pissed off. And there is so many fun options within
Darius?
League. It could be Darius. It could be someone from, like they're afraid of other nations too because they're a warlike nation. Could have been like you pissed off someone from somewhere else, and I want to know what that conflict is. And so I do.
And then we got Victor. You know what's going on with Victor?
Oh yeah, we know where he ends up. We just want to see how he gets there.
I don't.
All sorts of really good stuff.
Oh, and then Warwick was flashed. I think at the very end, you see a giant guy with claws hanging up in Singe's laboratory.
Oh shit!
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I didn't know. I did play Warwick.
It looks like Warwick, and is Warwick Vander, cool. Like everyone thinks Vander is?
I thought that was in the announcement trailer that there's a sound of Warwick's ability when he starts chasing somebody down. So I think Warwick is coming.
Yeah,
and I think maybe it's like Vander. But
I think it could be Vander. I think they played Warwick's theme when Vander was like around earlier when he was fighting. So it's like it could be. There's all sorts of cool stuff that can happen, and hopefully we've got a couple extra seasons to kind of see them flesh out.
So well, that's the question. To end this whole thing, it's like what what do you want to see in season 2? Well, obviously the conclusion of the storylines of Piltover and Zahn. But I don't want season 3 to be Piltover and Zahn again, and these characters doing kind of the same thing. I want to bring in other cities. I want to expand it after season 2. Season 2, full on same characters, maybe some cameos for a few more people, and go slow. Because I would like this thing to fuck. I did 10 seasons. Let's fucking go, man. Let's do Game of Thrones even better. 8 seasons or more, and have a better fucking thing.
If it continues at this,
Yeah. Now, I don't know much about the fucking. I mean, do all the fucking nations fucking participate in Summoner's Rift as a way to finish their conflicts? Like a Robot Jax situation.
I don't know how they are explaining that now.
Or it's just a thing. Just ignore Summoner's Rift.
I think it's just ignore Summoner's Rift. It's like the heroes of these worlds.
Okay.
In season 2, I would love to hear more about like a war with Noxus, the second hand, right? I want to hear about them fighting someone else and how it starts to kind of bleed over. And then season 3, we can go over and actually see what's been going on.
Yeah. And there's maybe the oil and water has to fucking team up because other cities are coming in like, fuck y'all.
Yeah,
I think that's what Jay said too. He's like, we were united from dangers out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool storylines that they could go into, and I think this is one that if you had to have me pick before they announced what it was, I would not have picked these characters because I think they're way more interesting characters than these.
Really?
And I would really like to see some of those get fleshed out. So,
fucking amazing.
Yeah,
awesome. Let's do it. Netflix, please. More Arcane seasons, and if you have to fucking cancel Netflix's fucking Cowboy Bebop to do it,
you should cancel it.
You should,
no matter what.
And if I can cancel 5 seasons of Cowboy Bebop for just one more Arcane season, I would. So. Please stay tuned for our Cowboy Bebop goddamn yellow.
I wonder how you feel about it.
If you are looking for something else after Arcane, you should check out Hitmonkey. It's great. And don't watch Bebop at all under any circumstance.
Yeah, we'll do it so you don't have to. Okay, guys. Thank y'all. Bye.